What's going on, y'all? Victor Chambers here. I am out heading to a signing. It's a 6 o'clock signing, 6 p.m. It's a couple towns over. I have 17 minutes to get there. It's going to take me about 17 minutes to make it there. So I'm going to arrive just in time. This one had issues with docs. The docs, I printed them and was getting ready to head out, and then found out that the docs changed, and so I had to reprint. Always annoying, but it just happens, you know. You just got to deal with it. I tried to record a video earlier to kind of talk to you guys about something that I've been experiencing more and more often, and it's really a byproduct of this political environment we're in, this pandemic environment we're in, and you know, like I said, I'm encountering it more and more. So I had a signing last night where I walked through the door, and as soon as pretty much no sooner than I got through the door, the husband you know, told me, yeah, so we're vaccinated. And so I'm like, you know, okay, great. And so we sit down at the table, we start the signing, and the wife sits down as well, and she's like, yeah, we're vaccinated, so you can take off your mask. And so I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'm fine, you know. And you know, I feel like they asked me if I was vaccinated, but my point is that more and more often, and this has happened to me probably, I feel like, at least 5 times in the last week, where signers are asking me if I've been vaccinated. And for the most part, they don't ask in a, like, you know, in a way where it's like, you know, do you have a disease, or, you know, is something wrong with you? It's, for the most part, it's harmless. But, you know, we're living in a day and age where, you know, people have a lot of different views about things. And, you know, speaking for myself, you know, when I've been asked that question, you know, I wouldn't say it makes me uncomfortable, but it feels a little invasive, you know. And in the medical world, they have, you know, HIPAA policies and things like that, where, you know, you can't share certain personal and private information about people's medical history. But in this environment, with this pandemic and this political climate, you know, people feel, you know, like it's not invasive to ask if someone has been vaccinated. And look, this video isn't to talk about whether I'm pro-vax or anti-vax. It's not about that. I just want to, you know, kind of warn you guys and make you aware that, you know, if you're out here, you're going to encounter people that ask you that question. And so I would say, you know, I wouldn't say ignore them or like be rude or mean or like whatever, but I would say, you know, try to avoid getting into too much detail in that conversation, because I noticed that, you know, some people I've met that are vaccinated, especially signers, they seem to wear their vaccination status like a badge of honor, you know, or they come off very elitist, you know, when they say, you know, that they've been vaccinated. And I don't know if that's their intention or not. But then, you know, obviously some people will ask you if you've been vaccinated, and the feeling I get sometimes is that people are trying to like measure you and trying to figure out, you know, kind of, you know, where you stand with regard to vaccinations. Now, you know, I want this pandemic to end like everybody. And this video, like I said, it's not about whether I'm pro-vax or anti-vax or whatever. You know, I want, you know, whatever it takes to get this thing done with, you know, or at least under wraps. You know, I'm more or less for it, you know. But I feel like people, you know, will use that question to try to measure you, because honestly, I feel like, you know, if you're on one side or the other, you know, there's certain political ideologies that align to the different sides of the argument. And so it's almost like asking someone like where they stand politically, or trying to get a sense for where someone stands politically, which I think is just not the type of conversation for the signing table, for the closing table. So my advice to you guys is just to, you know, you're going to encounter it. You're going to encounter it more and more. You know, and if you tell people, hey, if they ask you if you're vaccinated and you say, no, I'm not vaccinated, they're going to ask why. You know, some people are going to ask why. So, you know, again, don't get into too much depth in that conversation. I wouldn't if I were you. I would have maybe some sort of prepared, you know, answer that is vague or whatever to just kind of get out of that, because frankly, my opinion is that conversation's not super appropriate for the signing table, you know. And the funny part is that a lot of signers will try to rope you into these conversations, you know, that you really are just not appropriate to be having with people you don't know at a closing table. It's just, I mean, you can have them if you want them, but I feel like, you know, you're there to do a job, and to do that job, do it well, get in and get out, right? Provide great service. You're not there to talk about, you know, all these other things unless you feel completely comfortable doing that. But in this day and age, you know, you just never know. So I would 100% avoid it as much as I can, you know, for real. But like I said, signers will try to rope you into these conversations, you know, where you'll find yourself offering your opinion, and that is an absolute, that's a no-go, you know. Like, it could even be about something related to their docs, you know. Like I said, you're there to be an unbiased third party who is walking them through signing loan documents, right? Not providing your opinion. You're not an attorney, unless you actually are an attorney, but you shouldn't be providing your opinion about anything. The signer I met with last night, her and her husband were really nice people, I could tell. But, you know, she was making something, she was saying something about asking me about an escrow account, because in her particular loan, they waived escrow. Now, some lenders will allow you to waive escrow. Other lenders won't, and it depends on how much equity you have. You know, a few different things, right? Whether you'll be permitted to waive having an escrow account, right? And so she was kind of asking me, did I have an escrow account at she asked me if I owned a home and if I had an escrow account, and she was pretty much implying that, you know, that it was foolish for me to have an escrow account if I have an escrow account or whatever, because you're letting the bank hold onto your money. Now, I'm in real estate. I understand like how that works. I own a house. I understand how that works. And I understand the economics and the mathematics behind why it doesn't make sense to have an escrow account, because you're allowing the bank to hold funds that you can have in an interest-bearing, you know, savings account or in the stock market, and you can be making money off that money as opposed to allowing the bank to hold it. I understand the mathematics and the economics, but everyone's situation, you know, everyone's mortgage, everyone's lender doesn't necessarily allow that to be the case. So I don't know, she just kind of made like a bit of a kind of a blanket statement, but it was targeted at me, and you know, I just kind of had to let it roll off and kind of keep it moving, because I mean, some people just talk too much, right? They just say too much and they put their foot in their mouth. That's just the reality. So as a loan signing agent, you just have to be prepared to deal with those kind of people and not allow it to shake you, and to just be patient, because, you know, our signers, our borrowers that we're meeting with, they're human, and they're not they're not perfect, just like anybody else. They're going to say things and do things that may make us a little uncomfortable or apprehensive, or it may make the whole situation more tense and uptight than it should be. You know, you just have to maintain your composure. So my advice is just to beware and be conscious of these things. You know, these these borrowers and these signers may try to rope you into these conversations, and you know, depending on who you are and how you're built, you might not be, you know, you might not be ready for it. You might not, you know, it might throw you a little bit. You know, I know I'm a pretty chill, laid back person. You know, so I can kind of roll with the punches and kind of adapt in different situations. Some of y'all might not be wrapped too tight. Might be the slightest little thing might knock you off your rocker, and that's okay. But you know, this is just my word of advice and word of warning to just be aware that, you know, and be prepared to encounter those kinds of situations, because they're going to happen much more often, especially now. So I hope you found this helpful and insightful with regard to you know, the journey of a loan signing agent. This is just real stuff from the field. So again, hope you found this video valuable. If you did, make sure you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload brand new content. By the time you see this video, I will have crossed, I believe, 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mind-blowing, mind-boggling. I'm super grateful for you guys going along on this journey with me. But you know, I'm looking forward to what lies ahead. But really appreciate and love you guys for rocking out with me. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.